So listen, Falcons get ready for the 49ers coming up on Sunday in what's a very intriguing game. We'll break this game down more coming up tomorrow, but this is so far, I would say this will be the best defense that the Falcons have faced. They are pretty much number one against the run, against the pass. They've already got like 20 something sacks on the season. It's absurd how many sacks that they've got. But there might be a bit of a silver lining, okay? So, yesterday at the 49ers practice, okay, Arik Armstead did not practice. It's expected that he's going to be out for the game on Sunday. Nick Bosa did not practice. Samson Abukum did not practice yesterday. Javon Kinlaw did not practice yesterday. So they had 4 of their defensive linemen that didn't practice. It's already expected that Armstead's going to be out this week. It's very questionable. Shanahan said maybe Bosa can play this Sunday, but I have a feeling that we're going to see a depleted defensive line for the 49ers, which when I mentioned all those guys' names, but just take Bosa and Armstead, that's 2 of the best defensive linemen outside, inside that there are in the NFL. We saw this a few weeks ago with the Cleveland Browns, right? When they were missing 3 starting defensive linemen. They were missing Clowney. They were missing Garrett. They missed Taven Bryan, right? And the Falcons were able to take advantage of that. Can I tell you, at home, if the 49ers are going to be without some of these guys, and they're out here on the East Coast, so they're practicing out here on the East Coast this week, if they're without some of those guys, the Falcons have to find a way to take advantage of it. Look, with all due respect, if you're missing Bosa and Kinlaw and Armstead, hey, that's a them problem, right? I can't help it that your guys are hurt. Nothing I can do about all of that. But they have to find a way to take advantage of it, running the football. If you don't have your pass rushers in there, because Armstead's an interior defensive lineman who's a double-digit sack guy. Bosa just creates havoc everywhere on the outside. All of these guys that can create havoc, you have to find a way to take advantage of it. We'll talk more about this matchup tomorrow, but obviously, look, the passing game for the Falcons, we'll hate on Mariota much more tomorrow because his metrics are bad. Like, none of his metrics, when you look at this, that, and the other, are very good right now. And this is not about they're going to change quarterbacks. This is just about you have to get better play out of your quarterback position. If they're missing those guys on Sunday, Falcons have to find a way to take advantage of it. If they can't get after the quarterback as well as they're used to, you have to find a way to take advantage. If they don't have some of those guys that blow up plays in the backfield, you have to take advantage of it. You have to use that against them. Yeah, injuries suck, but they are a part of the game, right? And we're dealing with our own injuries. Looks like Kyle Pitts is going to be back this week. He's practiced. Looks like he's going to be fine. Obviously, Patterson's on IR, so it's still going to be, Caleb Huntley and Tyler Algier running the football. We'll see if maybe next week Damian Williams comes back or what have you. We still got a couple more weeks of Patterson on IR after this weekend. But if the 49ers are going to be banged up, beat up, and have this many problems on their defensive line, brother, you got to take advantage of that in this league. And again, look, doesn't mean that the 49ers are a bad defense. Doesn't mean that they're still not a good team or this, that, and the other. Still have an outstanding offensive line. You still got to figure out a way to cover Deebo Samuel underneath and this, that, and the other, which those kinds of plays killed us last week. But boy, when you feel like that you have an opportunity with guys out of the lineup, you got to go after them. And I hope that the Falcons, listen, it's going to be fascinating especially tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day in the NFL where you start to look at practice in the NFL. Friday, a lot of guys, for most teams, if you don't practice on Friday, then you most likely are not going to play on Sunday. So even today, if guys are sitting out, I'm not scared about that. If they don't practice on Friday, then we start talking about, okay, who's in, who's out for Sunday. And right now, it looks like that the 49ers could be very much a depleted unit. So if you're the Falcons, man, whether it's running the football whether it's buying time for Marcus Mariota, okay? Whatever you got to do to take advantage of all of that. Because, brother, I don't care what they have for reserves. You don't have Armstead. You don't have Bosa. Like, that's two of the top linemen that there are. You have to take advantage of it. Just like they took advantage of not having Clowney, not having Myles Garrett, right? Whether that's you run at specific guys, whether that's you're able to protect your passer a little bit better, you give Mariota a little bit more time, which, by the way, hasn't necessarily been a good thing. But, again, we'll talk about those metrics tomorrow because the longer Mariota has to throw, the worse it kind of gets for him. But anyway, but you have to find a way to take advantage of all of that tomorrow on Sunday. And we'll see what happens, especially tomorrow, as we'll look at the injury report, who practices tomorrow. But this could be very intriguing. This could be one of those games that the Falcons find a way to steal, right? When we talk about finding a way to steal a game, use injuries against another team. So we'll see what happens, but obviously it's going to be fascinating on Sunday because, look, I said yesterday, once you get through the 49ers, yeah, you're on the road at Cincinnati, but they're not the same team. And then it gets to be Carolina a couple of times. You got some games, Pittsburgh, Washington, Chicago. You got some games where the schedule starts to open up. If you can find a way to steal a game on Sunday, man, you set yourself up where, okay, over this next handful of weeks, we have some games that we think we're better than some of the teams we play. We can be better than the Bears, better than the Panthers, better than the Steelers. As crazy as that is to sound and say, we feel like we can be better than some of those teams. So if the 49ers are that depleted, Falcons have to find a way to take advantage of it coming up on Sunday. All right, we thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day. We ask you to make ATL Day 1s your second listen every day. Jarvis Davis and Anitra Batiste talking about all things in the heart of the city of Atlanta. Listen, they're free and available on our YouTube page at Locked On Sports Atlanta. Download us there. Check us out. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. We are also free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Leave us a 5-star review. Download us for free there today. Amazon Fire and Roku. Check us out on those platforms as well. You can find us available there. I know a lot of people use that, so head over there today. Find us. And, of course, follow me at JMCH316 on my Twitter page. We'll take a look at this Braves matchup for Game 3. We'll preview 49ers Falcons coming up tomorrow. This has been Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked On Sports Atlanta.